this morning for you in the United States yoga class, and this afternoon for those of you who are in Europe yoga class in English for the first time. So we are going to start with a little bit of meditation and allow people to join who aren't quite here yet. And you're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like. And we're just going to follow the exhalation. The first exhalation to help you release the mouth and the tongue and the jaw. The second exhalation to release and soften in the chest. Another exhalation to relax the stomach area. Now notice if you're able to keep your back vertical. If it's hard for you and you have a slightly rounded back here, go ahead and place a cushion underneath you so that you can have a nice long spine without using any force, but you can just settle into that long spine. See if you can release the hips and the legs as much as possible. Allow your shoulders to release and let your arms hang by your sides. Release any expression from the face. And allow yourself to release any thoughts, especially repetitive thoughts. Just let them drop into the ground. With each exhalation, emptying yourself a little bit more. And as you continue to empty and empty with your exhalation, notice the space that you create. With an inhalation, we're going to lengthen the top of the head up towards the sky and just feel how the space between each vertebra accentuates, and then breathe into that space. Breathe in between each vertebra of your spinal column. So you're dropping the tailbone, you're elongating the corona, the top of the head. And just notice all of the space that you create in the digestive system and breathe into that space. Breathe into the space that you create in the upper body. Breathe into the space you create within the roof of your mouth. And breathe into the space that you've created in your head by letting go of all of your thoughts. We're just going to take 3 more deep breaths here, creating space as we inhale and releasing into that space as we exhale. So we're going to add some arms to this really simple breath. As we inhale and we create space, we're going to bring our forearms together for as long as possible, lengthen our arms up to the sky. And then as we exhale, we're going to release into the ground all of our energy. Inhale, lengthening. exhale, releasing. You can even allow your shoulders to come up to your ears. And then release them down and back. You can feel the tips of your ears lengthening up to the sky. And then dropping your tailbone towards the ground. All the time, feeling the maximum amount of space possible between your head and your tail. And then we're going to begin to go into a twist as we exhale. So we'll always come up in the center as we inhale. As you exhale, you can open your right hand to the back and your left hand to the front really gently. Coming back to the center to inhale. Exhaling, open your left hand to the back and your right hand to the front gently. Without forcing anything, we're just warming up the body really slowly. Coordinating our breath with the movement. See if you have your weight on both sits bones, especially as you twist. And with this next exhalation, we're going to go ahead and stay in a simple twist to the right. You can take your left hand to your right knee. You can take your right hand really close to your body behind you. Almost connect your arm to your spinal column so that it's almost as if you have a double spinal column supporting you. Make sure that you have weight on both sits bones so that you're in your center and your vertical axis is nice and elongated. And just like before, inhale, creating as much space as you can. And exhale, releasing into that space as you slowly twist to the right side without forcing anything. Fill yourself with space and release into that space. If you want, you can do a shoulder roll down and back just to make sure that your shoulders are released. You can lengthen the top of the head as you inhale. You can drop the tailbone as you exhale. Feel the twist coming from deep down in the lower belly. Feel yourself twisting from your center. From your chest and your shoulder blade area. And give yourself one last deep breath here. And with an exhalation, return to your center. Close your eyes for a moment and just notice the difference between the two sides of your body. Notice any effects, any sensations that are arising. And see if you can listen to them without analyzing them so that you can feel how they evolve. Stay here for as long as you need to. And when you're ready, we're going to continue with a couple inhales in the center and twists, alternating sides. This time starting to the left. The twist really isn't coming from the arms. The arms are just mirroring the twist that's actually coming from the torso. And we're going to stay this time to the left side. You can use your right hand to hold the left knee if you'd like. Take the left hand really close to you, to the back. I'll show you to the side. So rather than being back here and off my axis, I really have the palm of my hand right up against my body, and I'm feeling my arm. That'll help me open the lower back towards the back as well. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, dropping down. Inhale, creating space. And exhale, releasing into that space. Feeling yourself moving from the lower body. Feeling yourself moving from the center. From the upper body. If you want to make sure your shoulders are released, you can do a nice circle down and back. And just give yourself a couple more deep breaths here. And with an exhalation, return to your center, close your eyes, and observe any sensations that come up. Feel how they rise and release. Continue accompanying the sensations throughout their entire evolution. Don't cut them off by beginning to analyze them. And now that we've slowly warmed up the back in a twist, we're going to do a more active twist. If you want, you can switch legs and cross your other leg in front if you need to. We're going to place our right hand facing upwards and our left hand facing downwards, and we're going to interlock the fingers here. And you can place the hands a little below your solar plex area so that the shoulders can be open, rolling down and back. It's very important that your spinal column is elongated and that you're not rounded here. So if you're still slightly rounded, add another cushion. Prop yourself up as much as you need to in order to have a really nice long vertical spine. And we're just going to gently breathe in to the left and breathe out to the right. It's an active breath. Without forcing this movement, you're just going to allow it to move itself. It's almost as if momentum is going to take you to the velocity that you need. So you don't have to follow my rhythm. You can do the rhythm that your body wants. And you're going to take your attention to the sensations that there are as we repeat this for quite a while. So you'll notice sensations coming up. See if you can accompany them without analyzing them. We're moving a lot of energy. So just notice how that energy begins to arise, how it begins to evolve, how it begins to disperse. We're going to continue for one more minute, so just make it nice and easy. There's no forcing this movement at all. It's a nice, easy movement. I really feel the twist personally coming all the way from the bottom, all the way through to the top. I'm I'm not forcing my arms at all. My arms are quite relaxed. I'm really doing the movement from the core center of my body. I have both sits bones on the ground. An energetic breath. Last 10 seconds. And we're going to finish with an inhalation, slightly pulling the arms apart, and just hold your breath in for as long as you can sustain it. This is a good moment to feel all of the sensations accumulate in your body. Feel how they occupy the space in your body. And when it's been enough for you, exhale and release down into the ground and observe the effects of this repetitive movement on your body. Observe where there's heat, where there's coldness, where there's vibration, where there's pulsation, and any other sensation that's coming up. Stay here for as long as you'd like, and when you're ready, you can lengthen your legs out in front of you. Let's go ahead and just shake everything out. Since you may be at home alone, you can do whatever crazy move you want. Nobody's watching you. And we're just going to do nice ankle circles to start warming up the connection between our feet and our legs, warming up the backs of our legs. Again here, if you have a hard time sitting with your spine vertical, prop yourself up on some cushions and really ease the pose for yourself. You should be able to sit with a vertical spine easily. If it doesn't feel easy, if it feels really forced, prop yourself up on a cushion or even something bigger. And let's go ahead and go the other direction. Well done. So we're going to keep our feet flexed. We're going to spread all 10 toes as much as we can. We're going to take our hands in front of us and cross the 3 bottom fingers and have kind of the pistol look going for the index and the big thumbs facing straight up. Again, do a big circle with your shoulders down and back. Keep your heart as open as possible, and we're just going to move from our belly button. We're just going to slightly take our belly button forward as we inhale and slightly take our belly button back as we exhale. A really small movement. We're stimulating the lower back. We're stimulating the kidney area. So take it nice and easy. Find the rhythm that your body wants to do the movement in, and coordinate your breath with that rhythm. It can be a nice slow rhythm so that you really feel the lower back opening as you go back, or you can do a more energetic rhythm, whatever your body's asking for. I'm keeping my feet flexed. I'm pressing my legs down into the ground, and I'm moving from the base of my pelvis, and I'm keeping my shoulders rolled down and back. And you're going to feel a lot of sensations come up. See if you can feel them without analyzing them, without deciding if they're good or bad sensations. Just allow them to come up. You can always modify the velocity of the movement. And just allow yourself to notice how this repetitive movement is stimulating your body. going to go ahead and do one more minute. So you can slow it down at times if you need to. But keep accompanying the sensations without judging them. Or at least notice if you are judging them. 10 more. Three, two, last one. Inhale, hold the air in and hug your head. Feel energy exiting your heels, exiting your fingers. Accompany the sensations that are arising without being afraid of them, just noticing what they are. And when it's been enough for you, exhale and release your upper body, release your arms. You can shake your head out slowly in a no to start releasing the neck a little bit. If your knees are slightly bent, that's fine. We're just warming up. It's early. Exhale and release your lips and your mouth and your tongue. Exhale and relax the stomach if you can. And while you're here, just observe where the point of most resistance is in your body here. Is it in your neck? Is it in your back? Is it in the back of your legs? Wherever it is, you're going to send your breath to that place and fill it with space. Visualize your breath filling the point of resistance like a balloon, and as you exhale, just soften into that place. We're going to take 3 more deep breaths here. Take your time. Inhale until you can't inhale anymore. Exhale, slowly releasing into the tension, into the resistance. And slowly rounding your back up to sitting. And just take a moment to observe your spinal column, tailbone dropping down into the ground, the top of your head lengthening up to the sky, breathing into the spaces that those 2 opposite directions are creating in your torso. And we're going to bend our knees to the sides and take our feet to the sides of the mat. And we're just going to warm up our whole spinal column really well. Inhaling, opening the whole front body in between our legs. Exhaling, opening the whole back body as far back as you can. You can grab a hold of your knees and allow your arms to help you in the movement. So we're going to take our attention first to the base of the body, to the pelvis. See if you can take your pelvis towards the back as you inhale and towards the front as you exhale. Pulling your gluteus muscles towards the back and dropping them forward. Dropping your pubic bone to the front and lifting it. And now take your attention to the center of the body, taking your belly button forward and taking it to the back. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. And now we're going to take our attention to the upper body, bringing the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, separating them. You can even do your circle with your shoulders down and back, and then draw your shoulders forward. And we're going to add our face, since we're at home alone, opening your eyes as big as you can and closing them as small as you can. Opening your nostrils as much as you can and closing them. See if you can open your ears and close your ears. Opening your mouth as big as possible and closing it as small as possible. And sticking out your tongue as far as you can and taking it back in as far as possible. Last time, all of it together. And we're going to stay forward this time. Make sure you keep your feet flat on the ground, and we're going to keep our elbows now in between our knees and release the head again with a slow no. Opening the back of the neck as much as you can. Exhale, release your shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades spreading and rounding down the sides of your back, opening between the shoulder blades. Exhale, relax your stomach as much as possible. And we're going to take our attention to our hip flexors, and we're going to see if as we exhale we can release the hip flexors so that they can deepen. Where your fold is at the front of the hips can fold down in towards the ground. And we're just going to slowly walk our toes to the sides until our legs are extended to the sides, wherever that is. It doesn't have to be your maximum opening. It can be a little less. Just a nice, comfortable opening for you. We're going to flex our feet. You can't see my feet, but they are flexed. And we're going to point the toes straight up. There's some people that have, depending on the flexibility in the hips, toes that tend to point to the back or toes that tend to point to the front. And see if you can take your toes in your knees and point them directly up to the sky as much as possible. And we're just going to release in between the legs here. So we have our feet flexed. We kind of have the sensation that our legs are pressing into the ground. And then we can release our upper body. Release the head, release the stomach. Take a deep breath as you exhale, release something. And we're just going to walk our hands over to the right and release our head over towards our kneecap, which should be facing directly up to the sky. And we're going to start elongating a little bit the left arm, and we're going to breathe into the left side of the body. Breathe into your left lung. And release your head over towards your knee. See if you can drop your left sit bone down into the ground. Don't lift up, drop down so that you're really lengthening downwards and upwards all along the left side of your body. And we'll walk ourselves slowly over to the left leg. Noticing if your toes and your knee are aligned with the top of the sky. And releasing your upper body and your head towards your knee. And slowly lengthening that right arm and breathing into the right side of your body. Breathing into your right lung. Releasing your right sit bone into the ground, dropping down as you lengthen out. One last deep breath here. And we'll walk ourselves back to the center, and we're going to keep our arms lengthened forward as if somebody's lengthening our fingertips towards the front. And as the fingertips are lengthening, we're going to take our belly button towards the back so that we come up with a rounded back and we open the back body. When you've rounded all the way up, inhale and lengthen your arms up to the sky. Exhale, open in a big good morning yawn. And we'll cross our fingers behind our backs and press our fingertips into the ground. So I'm still flexing my feet, my toes are facing the sky still. I'm pressing my legs down into the ground, and that's helping me lengthen the front of my torso up to the sky. I'm also pressing my fingertips into the ground and bringing my shoulder blades together. It's a little bit like a wine opener. As your legs drop down, your head lengthens up to the sky. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Feel energy exiting your heels. Feel energy exiting your tailbone, exiting the top of your head. One last inhalation. And release. We're going to slowly take ourselves into the table pose. Get there however you want to. Take your time. Feel each moment in your transition. Don't hurry anything. And when we come to the table pose, make sure that your wrists are directly below your shoulders and that your 10 fingers are really separated and all pressing into the ground. We'll do a couple cat-cows here just to enjoy this position. Inhaling, lifting the tail and the head. Exhaling, dropping them. Inhaling, releasing the belly button towards the ground. Exhaling, lifting the belly button up to the sky. See if as you inhale, you can release your heart between your shoulders. It'll take your shoulders up to your ears and kind of bring the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, push into your hands and separate the shoulder blades and open the upper back as well. Let's lengthen our chin forward, stretch out the front of the neck, and drop our chin to our chest. One last time. And we're going to tuck our toes under of our feet, and we're going to drop our hips back on to our heels. So I'm going to do it to the side so you can see me. And it's just going to stretch the base of the feet out really nicely and stretch the toes. If you have all of your weight on your big toes, see if you can round your heels outwards so that you can drop a little bit of weight onto the baby toe as well. You want to share the weight between all 10 toes. Inhale here, lengthen your heart as far forward as you can, and as you exhale, you're just going to slide your arms out, drop your belly button and your heart onto your legs, and release your forehead onto the ground. So while you're here, see if you can completely relax the weight of your head into the ground. Exhale, relax the stomach. And now we're going to imagine that our knees want to separate the mat between them. So we're kind of doing an energetic separation with the muscles of our legs to open the sits bones at the top of the hips, at the top of the gluteus muscles. Everything is separating as much as we can. Just take a deep breath here, feeling all the space that you're creating. And we're slowly going to round ourselves up to sitting here, which is going to probably be quite painful. It's not a fun place to be. So take a deep breath, feel the sensation, accompany it. And come back to the table pose. Take the toes out from under you and just tap your feet on the ground. Let the toes rest for a moment. Very nice. All right, so we're just gonna lengthen our right leg behind us. Keep the toes, all 5 toes, on the ground. Feel your heel extended towards the back wall more than the toes. That will stretch your Achilles. It'll stretch the back of the leg out a little bit. As you exhale, you're going to slightly lift your belly button towards your spine. I'm going to do this on the diagonal as well so you can see. So rather than having a curved back, I'm going to support my lower back by lifting the belly button slightly and have a nice elongated back. Right here. Good. Elongate your cervical spine along with the rest of your spinal column. One long line all the way from your heel all the way to the top of your head. And now we're going to go ahead and lengthen the opposite arm straight in front of us, and you're going to feel everything activate, especially your abdominal muscles. See if you can continue breathing deeply, even though you're activating your whole center. And if you'd like to take the challenge, you can lift the back toes off the ground and find your equilibrium here. Keep breathing deeply. Keep your belly button lifted up towards your spinal column. Keep length in the back of the neck. One last deep breath here. And dropping your hand, dropping your knee, and relaxing yourself back into a ball. You can do whatever you want with your arms now, whatever's comfortable. You can also wag your tail if you want while you're here. As you exhale, release as much as you can. One last deep breath. And we'll come back to the table pose. Before we do the other side, we're going to do the dog looking for its tail. So you're going to inhale in the center. And as you exhale, you're going to look for your tail on one side. So your hips are going to move the same direction as the top of your head. Your head and your tail are going together. It's going to close the ribs on that side of your body and open the ribs on the other side of the body. Inhaling in the center. Exhaling, looking for your tail on the other side. Closing one side of your ribs, opening the other. Inhale in the center. Exhale, draw your head and your tail together on one side. Inhale in the center. And draw the head and the tail together on the other side. One more time, right and left. I'll do it a little on the diagonal in case that helps. And coming back to our center, we're going to elongate the left leg behind us this time. All 5 toes on the ground, baby toe as well. Exhale, slightly lift the belly button towards the spinal column to have a nice long back. Lengthen the back of the neck. Elongate everything from the heel all the way to the top of the head. Press your heel towards the back wall so that you stretch out your Achilles and stretch out the back of the leg. And when you're ready, you can lengthen the opposite arm, the right arm, forward. And breathe into the strength that you're feeling in the center of your body. And if you'd like, you can slightly lift the foot off the ground, the back foot. And just hold a nice long line. Finding your balance, lengthening yourself in 2 directions. One last deep breath here. And dropping the hand, dropping the knee, and relaxing for a moment in a ball. So we're going to look up and take our right elbow right below our chin. And you can prop your chin on your hand. That's about where you want your elbow to be. And then we're going to take our left hand and place it on top of the right hand and lift our left elbow so that our forearms are all in a straight line with our wrists. So we have one forearm, wrist, and the other forearm all in the same long line. You're going to push down with your left hand into the right hand, and as you push down, that's going to lift your torso up a little bit. So you want to push down enough that your hands are right in the center of your heart, pretty much, right in that area. That way you create a little bit of space. If we're really low, we don't have space to twist, but if we lengthen our torso up, then we have some space in order to twist over to the left slightly. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, feel your lower belly twisting over to the left. Exhale, feel the center of your back twisting over to the left. Exhale, feel the upper back going into the twist. See if you can feel both sits bones dropping down onto your heels. Lengthen the tail in one direction, lengthen the head in the other direction. If you can, roll your shoulders down and back and see if you can create space around your neck. One last deep breath here. And exhale, completely release the twist and just observe. Observe where there's vibration, where there's space, where there's movement, where there isn't. One last deep breath. And we'll prop ourselves on our left elbow and our left hand with our chin. Relax yourself onto both heels. And then you're going to take your right hand and place it on top of the left and lift your right elbow so that everything's one straight line. The bottom elbow, the wrists, and the top elbow all together. Now as you push down into that bottom hand with your top hand, your upper body will slightly lift up. And it'll give you space to breathe. So breathe deeply. And as you exhale, allow your lower belly to twist to the right. Exhale, allow the center of your body to twist. Deep breath, filling yourself with space. Twist into the upper back, rolling your shoulders down and back. Feel your cervical spine in line with the rest of your spinal column. So that means your chin isn't lifted, it's slightly dropped to lengthen the back of the neck. Do you feel yourself sitting on both heels, or have you rocked onto one side? See if you can rock yourself to the center. One last deep breath here. And exhale, completely release. One last deep breath, letting go of everything you can possibly let go of. And we'll come back to the table pose. We're going to tuck our toes under again, and we're going to sit back onto our heels, and we're going to lift our knees up. If you can't do this because you have really tight knees and you have issues with your knees, you can always just stand up, because we're going to end up standing up anyway, so you can be here and you can do what we're going to be doing just in a standing position if you can't crouch down, okay? So we're going to keep our feet about sits bones width apart. You can feel the little bones in your gluteus muscles if you want to try and find them. They're two little bones right down there. And your heels are pretty much touching your bones almost. They're right there. The knees are in line with the toes. And I want you to see if you're pressing your big toe and your baby toe into the ground. A lot of times we have the tendency to rock onto our big toe. Roll your weight towards the baby toe as well, so that all 10 toes are pressing into the ground. For the moment, we're just going to release our ankles towards the ground. They may not reach the ground. Mine don't reach, but we're going to stretch our Achilles and we're going to stretch our calf muscles just by dropping our heels towards the ground. And as you exhale, just allow your head to release and bring yourself as close to your legs as you can. Drop everything. And you can bring your head up. And now we're going to lift our heels as high as we can and stretch our toes in the opposite direction. If your baby toe doesn't come out alone, you might have to get it out on your own with your fingers. Make sure all 10 toes are tucked under and you're giving them a really good stretch here. One last breath. And dropping the heels back towards the ground, and we're going to slowly walk our fingers back towards our feet to bring our body to an upright position and find our balance here. You can take your hands to the thighs if you want. Feel your tailbone dropping down. Feel the top of your head lengthening up. Feel as if there's a magnet holding your ankles energetically together, because that will probably be the least stable part of the body here. And look at one point on the ground the whole time. Take one last deep breath. And we're going to place the tips of our fingers onto the ground. Almost your fingernails are pressing into the ground. Inhale, lifting your heart as much as you can. And as you exhale, you're going to lift your tailbone. You don't have to completely straighten the legs, but just release the head. I'll show you to the side. I don't have my legs straight, but I'm inhaling. I'm crouching, lifting the heart. Exhaling, lifting the tail and releasing the head. So little by little, you can begin to straighten a little bit more your legs each time as they warm up without forcing anything. Take your weight to your heels, release the head. Drop the tail, lift the corona, drop the corona, lift the tail. 3 more. Inhaling as you crouch down, exhaling as you lift the tail. One last time. And we're going to stay here. Make sure that you have weight on the heels and on the balls of your feet. Leave your knees soft. Grab your elbows with your hands and lengthen your elbows towards the ground. That'll take your shoulders up to your ears. See if you can touch your ears with your shoulders. And then we're going to start a tiny movement with our knees. This is not a movement with your back. It's with your knees. Your knees are just going to do a really small little bounce. And it's going to drop the weight of your head towards the ground. And you're going to feel the weight of your head lengthening your cervical spine. Then you'll feel the weight of your head opening the space in between each vertebra of your back. And allow the weight of your arms to lengthen the side body. And if you want, as you exhale, let your voice go. And exhale, release the arms to the ground. Keep your knees slightly bent. Begin to drop your tail down towards the ground as you lift your belly button. And that's going to take you up with a round back. The tail dropping down, the belly button lifting. Your arms are completely released. Your head is completely released. Come up vertebra by vertebra. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed. And once you come up to standing, just observe. without needing to fix anything. Not even your clothes, just observe. Notice every sensation. Notice the liquids dropping down from the upper body down into your feet. Notice your breath. See if you can feel the beating of your heart coursing through your body. And any sensation that comes up is valid. Just observe it. Take one last deep breath here. And we're going to do a couple good morning stretches. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, opening. Good morning. Inhale, open your mouth as big as you can to provoke a yawn. And this time just let your voice out. One last time, let everything out that you possibly can. And we're going to do one big circle. That's going to cross our fingers behind our back again. So, if you have a hyperextended back like I do, your tendency will be to arch your entire back when you do this. Although we're opening the heart, we don't have to open the lower body. We can still keep our tailbone dropping, and we can keep the liquids in the lower belly slightly lifting so that the lower part of the body is nice and stable, and we're just opening the upper body. So that happens to us hyperextended people. So go ahead and feel your tailbone dropping down. Feel the top of the head lengthening up just like before. Bringing your shoulder blades together. And we're going to slightly bend our knees again, and we're going to lengthen our heart to the other side of our knees if possible. Slowly release your head and just lengthen your arms in the opposite direction. Imagine that your feet want to separate the mat between them. You're using your muscles to separate your legs, opening your sits bones at the top of your legs. One last deep breath here. And inhale, lengthening your head to come up, dropping the tailbone, bringing the shoulder blades together with one last deep breath in, and exhale, release. And a little bit of the knee bending here so that we can release our head, release our chest, release the stomach. Release your hips and release your voice. So we're not lifting our heels here. We're dropping down, 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 down. Rather than lifting up and up, we're going down, 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 down. Getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. So you'll notice certain things moving. And we're going to do it at a quicker frequency so that we notice different things moving around in the body. And now we're going to do it at a really slow, heavy frequency to allow other things to move in the body. And inhale, lifting your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, releasing. One more time. Lifting. And releasing. Softening the knees and just allowing our arms to swing from side to side. Feel which parts of your spinal column twist with ease. Which parts of the spinal column resist more. And just invite the entire spinal column into the movement. Let's also wake up our eyes. Open your eyes and focus on something on one side, focus on something on the other side. Be as detailed about your focus as possible and as quick to switch your focus. Looking at something close to you, looking at something far away, looking at something different each time. And a little more force so that we hit ourselves a little bit. Waking up, woohoo! One more time, right and left. And coming back to your center and bringing the hands together as if you were shaking hands with yourself. You're going to put your hands right in front of your hips and do a really quick right-left motion with your hands and allow this to move your hips back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So you're releasing your hips completely. And now we're going to take the hands in front of our chest and move all the energy in this area. And now up to your head like a dog that's drooling and getting it all out. Release your lips. And dropping down. And back up one more time. And back down. Release everything. And just observe. Where there's vibration. Where the frequency is faster, where it's slower. And like a gong that you would listen to until the last note has dissipated, keep listening to your body until the last vibration from the effects of the exercise has dissipated. And notice where that last vibration is in your body. And once you feel like your body has returned to a neutral state, you can bring your big toes together on the front of your mat and your hands in front of your heart. We're going to lift all 10 toes, separate them and drop them down onto the mat, nice and separated. Slightly rock your weight forward and back so that you have weight on your heels and on the balls of your feet. Drop the tailbone, slightly lift the liquids in the front of the body. My rule is that you want your heart in front of your belly button. If your heart is behind your belly button, you're probably closing in on the lower back. So just take your heart slightly further forward than your belly button and open the lower back area. Releasing your shoulders and just letting your head float up towards the sky. So we're just going to do 3 easy arms as we breathe in, lengthening, creating space. Exhaling and relaxing back to the hands in front of the heart. Just that, 2 more times. Inhale, flying up. We're just going to add a forward fold to that. Inhale, flying up. Exhale, lifting your tailbone, extending your head and your fingers. Release everything. Lengthen to come back up. And hands in front of your heart. Just that, 2 more times. time we're going to come to sitting. So you're going to take your hips back towards the heels. Lengthen your arms up and take your belly button towards the back wall so that you're still opening that lower back. Exhale, fly forward. Take your heart to the other side of your knees. Take the palms towards the ground. Release the head. Inhale, lengthen your head forward. Come up to your fingertips. And exhale, we're going to take a big step back with our right foot and drop our right knee to the ground. So you want quite a bit of space between your knee and your front foot. You don't want your front heel to ever lift off the ground, so if it does, you have to walk it further forward. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bend that left knee and drop the hip. So as you do that, if your heel lifts, walk your foot a little bit further forward. Open your heart as much as you can here. And as you exhale, take your hips back and just straighten as much as you can the front leg and release your head. Inhale, rocking your hips forward. Exhale, rocking your hips back, releasing your head. Let's spread all 5 toes onto the ground as we rock forward and feel our knee right in the center of our foot. This is just a nice warm up for the hips. Opening them up and releasing them back. So this time we're going to stay forward. Imagine that someone's going to press against this knee and it's going to take your left hip back in line with the right hip so that it's not open. It's kind of pulled back, that left hip. Once our hips are in line, we're going to inhale and lengthen our arms up to the sky. Exhale, opening and dropping the hands down to the ground. Spread all 5 toes on the ground. And again, inhale, coming up. Exhale, releasing. One last time. Bravo. Here we are. We're going to take our left hand to the inside of our left foot, and we're going to attach our left knee to our left shoulder about or upper arm. We're going to keep these 2 things attached. It'll give us stability, and as you press into that knee, it'll help you open the upper shoulder up to the top of the sky. So let's go ahead for now and just take our elbow up towards the sky as much as we can. If it's not completely facing the sky, that's okay. But we're opening that upper shoulder towards the sky by pressing in to that knee right there. So if you feel like you want to, you're welcome to extend the arm. If this is enough just to keep yourself with your elbow extended, then that's fine. So you have the option if you want to extend the arm, and you're twisting from the lower belly, you're twisting from the center of the back, you're twisting from your upper back. You're pressing in to that knee with your lower arm. And you're opening as much as you can to the sky. One last deep breath here. And exhale, dropping your right hand to the ground. And we're going to slowly do the same on the other side. So you're going to take your hand to your shoulder. Press that right hand into the ground. Lift your left shoulder up towards the sky, your left elbow. Now, a lot of times this knee tends to open. So you're going to take your knee, your left knee, towards your heart. Your heart and your knee want to come together. And make sure that your left big toe is pressing into the ground. So if you want to, you can extend the arm. If this is enough just to be opening the shoulder, then go ahead and stay here. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Press your shoulders down and back. And take a couple deep breaths here, twisting from the lower belly, from the center, from the upper back. One last deep breath. And dropping that left hand to the ground. Bravo. Tuck the toes under of that back right foot and lift the back knee up as high as you possibly can. If you want to go into plank pose, you're going to take both hands to the ground and you're going to step your left leg back. If this is too much, you can drop the knees to the ground and still align from your knees to the top of your head. So it's still a plank pose, whether you have your knees on the ground or you have your knees extended. We're lifting our belly button up towards our spine, supporting our lower back, and breathing deeply. One last deep breath here. If you don't have your knees on the ground, drop them to the ground and relax yourself in a ball with your arms extended as far away from you as possible. We're going to do a little back warm up now. So we're going to inhale, come to the table pose. Lift the belly button slightly to support your lower back. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, bring your head so far forward that the elbows bend towards your body. You're going to drop your hips into the ground. Inhale, project with your heart towards the front of the room. And exhale, press back into a ball. Inhale, coming up to the table pose. Exhale, taking your head forward to bring you down. Release the hips. Inhale, shoulders down and back. And exhale, pressing yourself back into a ball. Let's just do that 3 more times with your breath, coordinating it with the movement. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming forward. Drop the tailbone. Lift the top of the head. And release back. Touch your body with the sides of your arms. Bring your shoulder blades together and separate them. This last time, we're just going to stop once we reach the table pose again, right here. And we're going to tuck our toes under. I know you're on your mat. I'm going to do it to the side so you can see me. So we tuck our toes under, and we're going to slightly lift our knees. We're going to keep the knees bent, and we're just going to bring our heart towards our bent knees. So it's a downward dog with really bent knees. So we're seeing if we can touch our knees to our heart as much as possible here. Release the head, shake it out. No, no, no. Go ahead and push your shoulders up to your ears, and then roll your shoulders down and back. If you want to, you can lift your tailbone and start straightening a little bit the legs. Lift, lift, lift the tailbone. And then release the heels towards the ground. Oh, one last deep breath here. And we're going to take a big step forward with our right foot. I'm going to switch directions so I can see you. Then we're going to drop our back knee to the ground, our left knee. You can come to your fingertips if you want. Inhale, bending that right knee to drop your hips. If your heel is lifting, walk your foot a little bit further forward. Exhale, taking the hips back and releasing the head. Inhale, rocking yourself forward, opening the hips. And rocking yourself back, opening the back of that right leg. Coordinate your breath with the movement. We're going to stay forward this time, as if someone's pressing your right knee towards the back and it's aligning your hips. You're going to inhale and come up with the arms. Exhale, opening and dropping down. Inhale, lengthening up. And exhale, releasing forward. One last time. Relax the toes of that right foot. Good. And now you're going to take your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Place the palm on the ground. Connect your knee and your upper arm together. Press into that knee to allow your shoulder to open up to the sky, and allow your elbow to come up towards the sky. And if you'd like to, You can lengthen the arm if it's enough just with the elbow. Stay here and begin to twist from the lower belly. Take a deep breath, fill yourself with space. Exhale, rotate into the center of your back. And rotate into the upper back. One last deep breath here. And dropping that left hand to the ground. When you're ready, you're going to press down into that left hand and lift the right shoulder and the right elbow. Draw the right knee towards your heart. Press your right big toe into the ground. And if you like, you can lengthen the arm up to the sky. And twist from the lower belly, from the center of your torso, and from your upper body. One last deep breath here. And exhale, dropping back down. Tucking the toes of your back foot, lifting the back knee. Slightly bend that back knee in order to take yourself forward. Big toes together for a moment here. Go ahead and lengthen your legs and release your head. Exhale, relax your mouth and your tongue. Exhale, relax your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, relax your stomach. Exhale, release any thoughts that are in your head. One last deep breath here. And you're going to inhale and fly up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Go ahead and close your eyes and just observe the effects of this series on your body. Keeping your eyes closed, you're just going to lift your right heel off the ground, keeping the right toes on the ground. Just lift the heel. Separate the toes of the left foot and place all 5 toes on the ground. Slowly shift your weight over to your left leg. Drop that entire left foot down into the ground and lengthen the top of your head up to the sky. Drop your tailbone, slightly lift the liquids in the front of the lower belly. Make sure your heart is in front of your belly button, not behind it. And when you're ready, with your eyes closed, just see what happens when you lift the toes of your right foot off the ground. Just notice in what direction you have the tendency to fall in. We're not trying to stay in any balance here. We're just trying to observe what happens. So there's nothing to attain. Just keep your eyes closed and just notice where the majority of the movement is in your body. If you're a risk taker or not, if you take it very seriously or like a game. How's your breath doing? One last try. And we'll drop that right foot down next to the left with our eyes still closed. Just notice how it feels to have both feet on the ground. And whenever you're ready, you can lift the left heel and spread the toes of the right foot. Press your entire right foot down into the ground. Take your weight over the right leg and lengthen your head up to the sky. Bringing your belly button towards the back body, dropping the tail, making sure your heart is in front of your belly button. And when you'd like to, you can just try lifting the left foot off the ground with your eyes closed to just see what happens. If you always fall in the same direction, try falling in a different direction. See what happens when you fall in another way. Press into the outer edge of your foot, of your right foot, for example. Press into your big toe. Take your shoulders further forward. Just experiment. Try different things and see what happens. One last try. And bringing both feet to the ground again. We're going to take our arms forward and sit back. And if you want to, you can rock yourself forward and back. Give yourself a back massage. If you don't like this, don't do it. Do it if you want to. And we're going to remain on our backs with our knees up towards our chest. You can grab a hold of your knees with your hands. Roll your shoulders down and back. Go sideways so you can see me. Exhale and release the mouth and the tongue here. Exhale, drop the shoulders. Exhale, relax your stomach. Exhale, release your hip flexors, deepening them. And when you're ready, you can open your arms to the sides. You're just going to slightly lift your hips and shift them over to the left, and then drop your knees to the right hand side, very high up, almost towards your armpit. Not down away from yourself, but towards yourself. So if your back arm lifts completely off the ground when you completely release your legs, then bend your elbow and take your hand to your ribs and just allow your arm to open very easily towards the back again. But we are going to do what we don't often do. We're going to allow that back shoulder to lift, and we're going to completely release our legs to the ground. So if the back shoulder is lifted, that's okay. As you exhale, just begin to twist the lower belly, twist the center of the back, twist the upper back, and allow that back shoulder to slowly release towards the ground. You can either keep the elbow bent or extend your arm, whatever you prefer. You can look straight up. You can look towards your right hand, or you can look towards your left hand. Just try them all and see which one works for you. So close your eyes and notice where the place of most resistance lies in your body in this pose. Is it in your shoulder? Is it in your upper back? Is it in your lower back? Is it in your hip? Take a deep breath and send all of the air like a balloon inflating into that place. And as you exhale, just slightly soften and release towards the ground. Take one last deep breath here. And you're slowly going to lengthen your body. And do whatever your body asks for without thinking about it much. And when you're done with whatever your body needs, you can bring your knees back up to your chest. Rolling the shoulders back, down, and back. Releasing the chin and the back of the neck. Releasing the stomach, releasing the hip flexors. And when you're ready, you can open your arms to the sides. Slightly shift your hips over to the right and drop your knees slowly to the left. And if your whole arm lifts up off the ground, just bend your elbow and take your hand to your ribs and allow yourself to open nice and gently. Take a deep breath and twist from the lower belly. Twist from the center of your back. Twist from the upper back. And if at any point you can come into contact with the ground, then you can extend your arm completely. Try different places with your head to see what you prefer. And then close your eyes and find the place where the majority of the resistance is held and fill it like a balloon with space. And as you exhale, release into the space and just drop your weight towards the ground. Inhaling, 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 and exhaling slowly. One last deep breath here. And slowly elongating your body to do whatever it needs. Any last pose that you would like to do that you normally do before Savasana, you're welcome to do now. If you want, you can just do a half bridge where you roll up your spine and cross your fingers behind your back and bring your shoulder blades again together. And press your shoulders down and back. And press the whole weight of your foot into the ground, the heels, the balls of the feet, all 10 toes. Feel as if you're holding a soccer ball between your knees. Breathe into your lower back. And when you're ready, just separate your arms and roll down vertebra by vertebra. The upper back, the center of the back, the lower back, and release the legs. And with each exhalation, see if you can drop the weight of your body further down into the ground. Exhale and completely release the weight of your head into the ground. Exhale and release the weight of your shoulder blades. Release the stomach area. Exhale, feel the weight of your pelvis and your legs dropping into the ground. Feel the heels dropping down. And if any analyzing appears, exhale and just drop it. And continue feeling whatever sensations arise. From the time they enter to the time they exit. Without cutting them off with any analyzations. Just keep feeling the whole process. Notice how all the liquids begin to settle down towards the ground into the back body, leaving the front body nice and spacious and light. You can just breathe into that space. Feel the weightlessness of your heart. The space all of your internal organs have. Just allow your back body to mold and melt in to the ground. Let go so completely that you even let go the sensation of the borders of your physical body. So that you're able to expand beyond the edges of your skin. Let yourself go into the space. Tumhare darshan ki vela mau samaras rashaneka. Tumhare darshan ki vela mau samaras rashaneka. Lieu siki sanse samai mastin me jineka. Lieu siki sanse samai mastin me jineka. Tumhare darshan ki bela mau samaras rashaneka. Tumhare darshan ki bela mau samaras rashaneka. Lieu siki sanse samai mastin me jineka. Lieu siki sanse samai mastin me jineka. If you'd like to, you can hold the breath in for as long as you feel. Muchas gracias. Gracias por venir. Namaste.